Are you ready to embark on a journey of exploration and unlock the magic of your wonder? There is so much more in the universe than we have been shown. It is time to ask those questions, dissolve those barriers, and embrace your extraordinary life. Here is your fellow explorer in the realm of curiosity and discovery, with almost 20 years of inviting people to embrace the greatness of them, Donnielle Carter.
Hello and welcome everybody to the exploration of wonder. I am so glad you're here, whether you're watching live now, in the past, or in the future. I am so grateful to have your energy as such a contribution. So, just to let you know, I am Donnielle Carter. I am a National Board Certified Health and Wellness Coach. I am also an intuitive empowerment coach. And there's just many of the things that I actually do and be. And one of those things I do and be is magic, as are you, which is what the topic today is on this Exploration of Wonder show. And I'm so excited to be here with you today. All right, so this is one of my favorite topics. And here is your warning. I'm going to get nerdy. Just saying. All right, I'm a big old nerd. I like to do research, which actually is kind of the whole basis of my show, exploration of wonder. Because it's that place where we go, I wonder what that's about. And then you go research, or you go look it up, or you go discover it because you wonder about it, right? Well, that's where this whole topic came from today. And the topic is science proves that magic is real. Okay. So let me say that again. Science proves magic is real. Disclaimer right off the bat, you don't need to know it's real to have it be real. But if you're anything like me and you like to nerd out, which a lot of us do, you like exploring it more. You like discovering the ins and outs and some of the whys and the hows. And for me, it always kind of makes it more potent, more grand, more, it exponentializes it to a fantastical point. So today we're having science prove that magic is real. Okay. So one of the very first radio shows I did 1,000 years ago, like 2008, it was called Access the Magic. Because I don't know about you, but as a kid, didn't you just know magic was real, right? That's why when we watch things like Harry Potter or any of those fantasy shows, we go, yeah, that's possible. It's like, oh, I'm going to move this, do that, go over here and create this. Yeah, we knew as a child it was possible. We knew magic was out there. We knew we were magic, but then we went into that. Some people were told it wasn't, and we had to acclimate to what our parents or society or anything told us. And for me, one of the big ones is I went looking for the outside source of it instead of acknowledging the inside source of it, which is us. That's why I say we are magic, which I should say, spoiler alert, that's the whole summary is we're magic, okay? But what was interesting is for me, there started to become this separation of my curiosity, my wonder, the science of it all. Because in some other life, I'm definitely a scientist. I'm in some lab somewhere, pouring ingredients together and putting molecules up to various experiments and stuff. And so for me, I went into the science of it. And how many of us go into the science of it and then we separate from or excuse away or dismiss the magic of it? Yeah, me too. Okay. And what I'm here to say is, what if there was no separation between magic and science? Because to me, there isn't. Just because you can explain magic away, or not even away, but just because you can show magic is real by evidence of science, doesn't make it any less magical. And a lot of people do think that, well, if you can explain it with science, then it becomes science and it doesn't become magic anymore. Wait, my friends, I have so much information for you that really contradicts that. That doesn't mean that says if you can explain it with science, it becomes science and not magic. No. This is where it is interchangeable. Where just because we can explain it away doesn't mean we don't have magic. Because how many of us with magic, we're waiting for that magic wand? We're waiting, and I'll say it again, that outside force, something to come in and go, boop, like magic wand, like whoop, here you go. And then it's about the wand, right? You have the right wand, you have the right elements. Whenever I do classes, whether in person or online, people always tease me. They're like, how many lifetimes were you a witch? I'm like, I'm a witch this lifetime. I'm just not a prop witch. I don't always need the outside sources of dancing around a cauldron or anything like that. Would I do that sometimes? Yes. That's a whole other story. But that's like, well, how many of us went looking for that outside source instead of acknowledging the inside source? All right. So I'm going to get into a little bit of definitions here. Like I said, here is your nerd alert, because here we go. Because we're going to use even the word physics today. I know. Stay with me, because I have a lot of good information, you guys. I have this is one of those topics when I'm like, wow, I wonder if I can talk for an hour on this, to, oh my gosh, I only have an hour to talk about this. So please do stay tuned. There's a lot of information coming in, including a few things at the end that are like how we can actually use this information to create our lives. Okay, so few definitions, because I'm always about the energy of words. The more you guys watch my shows, the more you work with me in any way, sessions or classes, you'll know this. I'm always about the energy of words. Because as I sit here and talk to you, we are a verbal society. And when we work with the energy, every time we say a word, an energy comes up and it participates in this magic, but it invokes an energy, right? And so I always like to go to the original definitions of words, which is why I created a class called Energy of Words, is so we could get the clear communication. All right, so the more you guys hang out with me in whatever form, the more you're going to hear me go, I looked up the original definition of, because I do. So the original definition of science, because I thought I'd start with that one. The original definition of science is state or fact of knowing. So it's like, I know this, it becomes science. What is known? Knowledge of something acquired by study, information, right? And that's when the energy sign goes, because I'm also a firm believer that we don't have to necessarily study it to know it, whole other topic, but that we can just know. We can extrapolate it, we can pull it out from other people's heads, other lifetimes, whatever it is, okay? But science is the state, and not like I'm stating, but like it can be like stating, but also the state you are, of who you are, of what you are, or fact of knowing. What is known? Knowledge is something acquired by study, information. Okay. What's interesting, and this is why I always go to the original definitions, because as a society, why? I don't know, but as a society, we started putting different definitions to words, and it created some funky, flowy energy. Instead of a nice flow of energy when we use this word, it kind of goes and tries to take us on a different path. So what's interesting is later on with this definition of science, it's to separate one thing from another, to incise, which is to cut. So I'm like, oh my gosh, they right there started putting that energy into the notion of science to create it even further separate from magic. They put it right in the definition of science, is to separate one thing from another and to incise, to cut. So I'm like, I'm going with the original definition because that's where the energy is anyway, right? So, magic, my friends, okay? Magic is around late 14th century, art of influencing or predicting events and producing marvels using hidden natural forces. Okay? Let me say that definition again. Art of influencing. What does influencing mean? Well, sorry. It's one of those where you want to use the word influence to explain influencing. But influence is like where you manipulate, where you do, you take action and change the outcome. You influence events, right? Art of influencing or predicting events and producing marvels. Yay! Producing, showing up, actually showing up, marvels using hidden natural forces. Okay. Where did I go from there? I go down the rabbit hole because, as I think I mentioned in a previous show, one of my various degrees in my nerd world is archaeology. I have an archaeology degree because if you're in broadcast production, why wouldn't you have an archaeology degree and an English degree? Anyways, and so for me, researching is like an archaeological dig. Clear that layer, see what's underneath. Follow that path, see what's underneath. So when I'm looking at this original definition of magic, art of influencing and predicting events and producing marvels using hidden natural forces, I'm like, okay, so we're talking about the influencing that we can interact with and change it and shift it, but using hidden natural forces. I'm like, what are those? What are they thinking are hidden natural forces? So I looked that up. But here, I want to add something else in. Like when we were talking about science and how they had to put in a negative connotation for science to create a separation and superiority. They also did that with magic. I'm telling you, looking up the original definition of words helps so much. You really just see like, oh, that's where they created confusion. Thanks. No more. I'm clear. So it wasn't until the 1800s that the word magic started becoming more scandalous, right? Witch hunts or people who did things that they would call miraculous, even if they were doing it in the name of God. They were magic and they were evil and they were in league with the devil and all that kind of stuff. So it didn't even become scandalous until like the 1800s. So that's over 400 years of magic just being a natural element that we are and be. Okay. So, but of course they had to make it more scandalous, right? They had to defame it. They had to make magic less accessible and they had to make it illegitimate. They had to suppress it. Okay. Because when we had access to, and I'm going to say that again, they had to make it less accessible. Because how many of us started being inundated then with genealogy or genes, all that kind of stuff, of like, it's dangerous to be magical. How many of us have been shared through our family, for our history, through anything like that? Whoops, sorry. Sorry, Mike. That it's dangerous to be magical. So we must suppress that. We must put our mind in science. We must put our things in the tangible and not in the magical. Because how many of our ancestors were killed for being the natural magicians and witches and magic workers that we truly are? Okay. A lot of us, I would say most of us. I've done, with the archaeology, I've done a lot of study of history and cultures and things like that. And what's interesting is this concept of magic is in everyone. There is not a culture out there that doesn't have a concept of magic. Because we're have the same delusion? No, because we all have the same capacity for this magic. Okay. So initially it was considered more or less legitimate, not sinful, and involved much that would be explained as science later. Okay. So we're going to get into those natural forces, but we're going to do our first commercial break because I can't believe we're here already. But when we come back, I'm going to tell you about what these four natural forces are. Because just a reminder, magic is art of influencing, predicting events, and producing marvels using hidden natural forces. So what are those? I will tell you when we come back. All right. So you are watching or listening to the Exploration of Wonder with Donnielle. Hi! On Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back.
Ever feel like there's more to life than meets the eye? A sense of wonder just beyond your grasp? Are you ready to create a life that inspires you so much that each day you are excited to wake up and live it? Join Donnielle Carter, a nationally board-certified health and wellness coach, weekly as she explores the universe on the exploration of wonder. Explore everything from harnessing the power of your mindset to connecting with your intuition and harnessing the energetic forces around us. With a blend of humor, warmth, directness, and a dash of cheekiness, Donnielle shares easy-to-use, pragmatic, yet magical techniques you can implement immediately to infuse your life with wonder. Join us as we navigate the fascinating landscapes of the seen and unseen, and together create lives filled with joy, purpose, and boundless possibility.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Exploration of Wonder with your guide, Donnielle. To participate in this program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to hello@donnielle.com. Now back to the exploration.
Welcome back, everybody. Hope you didn't mind me dancing during the commercial break. All the music always asks my body to like move and do a little shake. Welcome back to the Exploration of Wonder with me, Donnielle. And if you notice in the intro, I call it your guide, because it's kind of what I am, you know. We're taking a tour through the universe, and I'm kind of your guide. You know, I'm going this way, look over here at this, and look over here at this. But I'm not your teacher. I am just inviting you to ask the questions, to really explore what you're wondering about. So, I'm your guide, Donnielle, on the Exploration of Wonder. Welcome back. All right, so today we're talking about science proves that magic is real. And I will say, because I can hear some people's heads of like, well, what if you could have magic without science? Okay, but what if you could have magic with science? How much more potent and becomes possible then, right? For me, this is all about not creating that separation, but actually just being in the world as it truly is with these natural forces. Which I will say again, the definition of magic: art of influencing or predicting events and producing marvels using hidden natural forces. All right, what are the hidden natural forces? Glad you asked. Natural forces, also known as forces of nature, excuse me while I read my notes, refer to the fundamental forces that govern the universe, including gravity, electromagnetism, the strong nuclear force, and the weak nuclear force. Essentially, the forces that occur naturally without human intervention and influences the interactions between matter and energy at various scales. That's an important part. I'll read it again. Natural forces, also known as forces of nature, referred to the fundamental forces that govern the universe, including gravity, electromagnetism, strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force. Don't worry, I'll go through those. But this part, hear this, please. Essentially, the forces that occur naturally without human intervention, and this part, and influence the interactions between matter and energy. Okay. We talk about energy a lot. You throw a rock, hit a metaphysician of any sort, they're talking about energy, right? We're like, we are energy, use the energy, manipulate energy. We're always talking about this energy. because we are. It's the thing that's all around us. It's how we know if somebody's mad at us without being in the room. And then matter. Matter is in theory, that's all I'll say about that topic today, but matter is in theory that the solid things, right? Mass, matter. It's the microphone, it's the desk, it's the computers, it's the cameras, it's all that kind of stuff, right? This is the matter in the universe. So these natural forces is the influence, there's that word again, the interactions between matter and energy at various scales. Okay, so here I am with a little bit of the nerd part. What are the natural forces? There's 4 fundamental forces that work in the universe. First one, strong nuclear force. Okay, and you don't have to remember all this. I'm just saying it because I can, and it's interesting. But you don't have to remember it. So strong, there's no test. Okay, to be magic, you don't have to get take a test to prove magical. Like what did Donnielle say on the show the other day? Don't worry about it, no test. Strong nuclear force is the strong nuclear force. It binds the subatomic particles together and takes out the nuclear interactions. It's the strongest force, holding the protons and neutrons within an atomic nucleus together. La 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 la. Don't worry about it. Weak nuclear force. Basically, these are just all the things that make matter and energy connect with each other. There's weak nuclear force, and this is not nuclear as in nuclear bomb. Don't worry about it. Weak nuclear force, the mechanism of interaction between subatomic particles that is responsible for decay of atoms. But for here, this is to me where the word quantum comes in. Okay. And then electromagnetic force is the force due to electric and magnetic fields. The force acting between charged particles, including the electric force, magnetic force, responsible for interactions between atoms. We're back to that word quantum. Okay, I'm going to come to that again. Gravitational force, the force of attraction that exists between any 2 bodies. Okay, the force that attracts objects with mass towards each other, responsible for keeping planets in orbit around the sun. Which, if you ever want to read up on Jupiter and Saturn, they are the unsung heroes of Earth. I told you I'm a big nerd. But the gravitational force actually keeps us in a habitable planet. I watch and read a lot of different things. All right, so anyways, so we have all these natural forces, right? All this stuff, don't worry about it. I just wanted to read it so you knew what the 4 main forces that we've defined so far in this reality. Okay, all of this is about energy. All of this is about how the energy field interacts. Okay, so what I want to talk about now, this leads me to quantum field theory. Okay, quantum field theory and quantum physics. Please don't go away. This is the meaty part. Okay. This is the energy. Okay. When we talk about the energy, all the forces together talk about that quantum field theory. The quantum field theory is relatively new. And what's really exciting about it is it's changing science, it's changing consciousness, and it's changing how we interact with everything around us. Okay. In the quantum field theory, broken down, is it describes a model in which every particle and force has its own field, all stacked on top of each other and permeating the universe. When that field is excited, we see a particle, and we see an excitation of the particle, and the excitation interacts across different fields. That's key. Okay. The quantum field is the thing that carries energy and has a calculable and measurable effect on the light, energy, and matter, in theory, physical things of the universe, meaning it affects all physical things, and all physical things are connected. Okay? Quantum physics tells us that everything is connected through this quantum field of light, where we actually acknowledge that all molecules, all cells, all atoms, all particles interact with each other. So further on with the science of it, in these experiments in the quantum physics and this quantum field theory, when you excite means make it motion, Okay, that's what excite means. It's like excite. Excite is like when you ever have a dog that's just sleeping, and then you go up and you go, and then it's like, oh, that's what you do when you excite all these particles. Sorry, that might have been really loud for some of you. I amuse myself, if nothing else. All right, so, my cat's like, you're lucky you didn't do that to me. Anyways, so that's what when we excite these particles, okay? But in this quantum field theory with quantum physics, when you excite a molecule or a particle over here, which you can't see, if you're listening to audio, I'm just like holding up one hand, right? And you excite it over here, it sends out a ripple and a frequency and a vibration through this quantum field that affects all molecules, particles, atoms that we come into contact with. In that interconnectedness, in that oneness, in that consciousness, I say consciousness field, and this quantum field that we truly are in, okay? Because we all are interconnected. Exactly, okay? And so, for me, quantum physics is exciting because it's actually stated. Quantum physics is more than physics. It's a new form of mysticism, which kind of irritates me because people think, oh, mysticism, it's like, it's back on that fanciful, right? Oh, they're mystics, they're just fanciful. No, this is actual ways we create our lives, okay? It's a new form of mysticism which suggests the interconnectedness of all things and beings and the connection of our minds with the cosmic mind. Okay, we can talk about minds other time, but just say it's interconnectedness. And I love that quantum physics is talking about this. And I have to be so grateful to all the Marvel movies because it's made the word quantum very accessible to everybody because they talk about the quantum realm, which just for the other nerds out there, quantum realm is really just like a region, okay? Quantum field is everything everywhere. Quantum realm is just like one little pocket, okay? It's a place. Okay, so that's the difference between quantum realm and quantum field. All right, so what does all this tell us? What did all of that scientific, extra fun, syllabled words I just said mean? It means we're all interconnected. It means that as we move molecules over here, move particles, move atoms, it sends out a ripple and a frequency and a vibration that interacts with other things, which invites it to more, which invites it to other possibilities, and it affects us, it affects them, it affects things we don't even know. And I'm going to postulate, because I'm a bit nerd, it also goes through time and space, which is why I always say that time isn't real, which is why I have experienced changing the past. And we most certainly then can change the future. We can change the past. We can change the future as well. All right. So we are reaching out with magic. I'm going to go back to the original definition of magic. Art of influencing. Ooh, every time we excite something, or we influence, right? Art of influencing, predicting events, and producing marvels using hidden natural forces. Well, do you see the quantum field? That would be cool, though, right? That would be really cool if you could see the quantum field. I haven't been able to see it. And that's okay. I know it's there. I can feel it. My body tingles. Everybody else have a tingly body when they know they're interacting with this stuff? Yes. Okay, that's our body's interaction with the quantum field as well. Okay, and so with all of this, what this means is we can influence things. We can act on things. And when we come back, because we're going to take a commercial break here soon, is I'm going to give you a list of what this means. Because hopefully you're getting that this is one of the most empowering things that you can actually acknowledge and put into practice. Because how many of us think we're ineffectual, meaning we don't make a difference in our lives, that what we think doesn't matter, what we say doesn't matter, what actions we take don't matter. But they do. They do. You are magic. And that is magic. How many of us try to dismiss that as like, oh, I'm just taking actions? That's freaking magic. Okay? Spoiler, I'm going to talk about that next segment. But I want to go ahead and go to the break just so we're not interrupted with this other last part. But during the break, please really look about it. It's like, where have we created magic as this outside force instead of really acknowledging that we're a part of it? And that we don't have to have a magic wand, that we just have to make choices, right? And I was trying to tell you that without giving away next segment, but there we go. I give away next segment, some of that. But this excites me like nothing I've researched in a very long time. Because for me, it really shows me that place of where as a kid, we're like, well, of course we're magic. Hello? Oh, look, I reached out as my friend was falling off the gym bars and I helped them slow down so they didn't fall. Yes. Yes, my little potent bean, you did. Okay? And so how many of us need to go back and tell those little potent beans that we are, yeah, you really did that because you manipulated these natural forces. All right? All right, so we're going to take our next break really quickly, and you are watching the exploration of, or listening, the exploration of wonder with me, Donnielle, and you're watching or listening on the Inspired Choices Network. All right, thanks. We'll be right back.
Ever feel like there's more to life than meets the eye? A sense of wonder just beyond your grasp? Are you ready to create a life that inspires you so much that each day you are excited to wake up and live it? Join Donnielle Carter, a nationally board-certified health and wellness coach, weekly as she explores the universe on the exploration of wonder. Explore everything from harnessing the power of your mindset to connecting with your intuition and harnessing the energetic forces around us. With a blend of humor, warmth, directness, and a dash of cheekiness, Donnielle shares easy-to-use, pragmatic, yet magical techniques you can implement immediately to infuse your life with wonder. Join us as we navigate the fascinating landscapes of the seen and unseen, and together create lives filled with joy, purpose, and boundless possibility.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Exploration of Wonder with your guide, Donnielle. To participate in this program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to hello@donnielle.com. Now back to the exploration.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Exploration of Wonder with me, your host, Donnielle, and your guide, Donnielle. Today we're doing one of my favorite subjects is we're magic. Yes, we are. All that stuff you thought of as a kid of like, well, I should be able to do that. Yeah, you're right. You should, and you can. And you know what? I'm using science today to help prove it, not because we need the proof, but because, honestly, here's what's weird. We think about science to explain things. But then for me, what's really cool is the more I know the science of it, the less I think about if I'm magic or not and just acknowledge I'm magic or not. And there's no or not. We are. We are magic. Spoiler alert, we are. Okay, we're just magic. And so, funny enough, I'm using science, thinking about science to help explain magic so that we stop thinking less about being magic and just embrace magic. How's that for a loop in the head? But here we are. All right, so talking about the quantum field, quantum physics, quantum field theory, all that kind of fun stuff. And that magic is that we are influencing using natural forces. Well, guess what? You are one of those natural forces, okay? We are using magic, that ability to interact with intention and desire to manipulate these forces. We are the natural force. whether you want to call it the mind or the consciousness or whatever it is. We have this ability to reach out, connect with molecules, connect with cells, connect with particles, interact, influence them through our interactions, and influence outcomes, influence futures, past, all that kind of stuff. Okay. How do we do this? Because it's like with an intention, okay, with intention, we are creating this. Okay. We are shaping reality with our intentions. Intentions isn't always my favorite word, but it really fits here. We are shaping reality with our intentions. What are our intentions? Okay. Thoughts. It isn't just the things inside your head. When you think things, it radiates out. Okay. Let me say this is none of this is to scare you, it's to empower you. Because honestly, when I first started researching this, I'll admit, it scared the piss out of me. Because I was a little bit like, holy crap. If all of my thoughts really become things, that's a huge potency capacity. Oh my gosh, there's so much responsibility. And like, holy, am I screwing myself up with my thoughts? What if I have a bad day? Right? There's so many tools for that, which I'm going to give you a lot of. But it's really just to acknowledge that as we have these thoughts, it sends out a ripple, a frequency, a vibration through this quantum field, and it interacts with other people, places, and things. Okay. How else are we shaping reality with our intentions? Desires. Okay. Desires or wishes, said or unsaid. Because here's the thing with quantum fields. They don't make a difference of if you said it out loud or not. It's just there. It's in the universe. Okay. Verbal communication with yourself, the universe, or with others. Every time we speak, we are shaping reality. When we communicate with our body, we're shaping reality. What are you asking your body to be or do or how? With money. How many of you send out there every day that we hate money? We hate the necessity of money. Or any of those warm, fuzzy things that tend to come up when we talk about money. Most people go, money, I wish I didn't need it. Well, if we're actually putting that out, is it any wonder money doesn't want to come play with you? Just saying. Because as you're putting out this energy and this intention of, money, guess what? Money's going to go, not there. Good to know. Okay. With choices, every choice you make. And, and this is a big topic. When I was researching this, I'm like, oh my gosh, I could do a whole show on choices. And I think I might. On how choices shapes our reality. Okay. And it's more than just you turn left and you turn right and you didn't get hit by the bus. It's more than those. Okay. It is every single choice can really, it just shapes your reality. It really, really does. And then I won't get into, but I will in the one with the choices. There's also the theory in physics that for every choice you make, every choice you can make, you do make, which spuns out the multi-universe theory, and don't worry about that. Ignore that. I know some of you just went, now you made my brain or my head explode. I'm sorry. All right. But we also do it with our questions. We are shaping reality with our intentions, with questions. Okay. So let me say these all really quickly. Thoughts, desires, wishes, said or unsaid, communication with yourself, the universe, with others, with our bodies, with money, every choice we make, and every question we ask. These are the things that are helping shape our reality with our intentions. Okay. Back to that word intention. And this is where a lot of people can go, yeah, you're just talking about setting intentions. Yes and no, because we are shaping reality by being a natural force. And every time we ask a question, every time we make a choice, every time we have a conversation, we are exciting particles. We're turning molecules, and we're putting this out into the universe. And as we put all this stuff out into the universe through the quantum field, it ripples out and invites. Sometimes it repels because, like I said, not jokingly, with the money part, Sometimes we're pushing things away, but we interact with all these in the quantum field. Okay. So for me, this tells me that all those times when we go, say, I'm in a bunch of threads with one of the companies I work with, and they're like, so and so's on the way to hospital. Will you please send contributions? And I'll admit, when I first started doing that, I was like, yeah, contributions, have a good day. But the more I get into this quantum field stuff, the more I'm like, holy crap. Yeah, I'm here in Utah, or wherever I'm in the world, but in Utah, so and so is on the way to the hospital, and you're like, send energetic contributions. And you go, well wishes, healing energy, whatever it is, you begin to excite all these particles, all these molecules, and it ripples out from you. And guess what? It does go to them. It does go to them. And then they're, level of receiving, they can choose what to do with that energy contribution, that fill up, that healing, whatever it is. So, yes, through science tells me that if I sat there and went, okay, energetic contribution, it changes reality. It changes reality with our intentions, with our thoughts, with our desires, communications, with our body, with money, with all that kind of stuff. When we think about it, it sends out the ripple frequency and vibration in a scientifically proven field of interconnectedness of matter and energy. It is scientifically proven that our thoughts are shaping our reality. Isn't that the most exciting and scary thing you've ever heard? Yeah, me too. And so, like I said, this is not to say you can never have bad thoughts. We all do. I started the day with them. But then what was interesting is because of this whole quantum field thing, I'm like, okay, so what am I asking my day to be? Am I asking my day to be crappy? Well, I am if I continue along this thought. Because when you're just like, okay, wait a minute, where is this coming from? Because it's not just an out, it's also an in. Okay. And at time of recording, I live in America, and at time of recording, it's a weird day in America. A new president's being sworn in. There's some weird stuff. There's some weird energy. So I was receiving all of that as well, because how many people in America right now are thinking one way or the other, are thinking, look at this, look at that, or oh crap, or whatever, right? So I wake up and I perceive all of this energy, because that's the thing, my friends. Not only is we're doing it as an out, we're also receiving this as an in. Okay. So when I woke up going, I feel like I got hit by a bus. What's going on? And I'm kind of grumpy. Then I went, oh yeah, it's a weird day in America. My thoughts started shifting and changing, because here's the once you acknowledge those, you once you have the capacity to acknowledge yourself in this quantum field, interacting with it, receiving from it, sending out with it, the less you become the effect of it when you choose not to be. And then I went, oh, that's what that funky energy is. No, thank you. And I instantly felt better. Instantly. Okay. And then my thoughts changed, and I could have more of the kind of day that I desired to have, including talking to you about this weird stuff. Okay. So you are magic. You are a natural force. You are interacting with things through the quantum field, through thoughts, desires, wishes, communication, with money, with choices, with questions. You are influencing and changing thoughts, changing people, changing physical matter. And isn't that magic? Because when you look at magic, like in movies or in science fiction or the fantasy things, it's like, oh, they wave a magic wand, and like, in Harry Potter, all of a sudden he was a mouse, right? Or one of his friends. They waved a magic wand. What did they do? They changed physical matter through a manipulation of an interaction of natural forces. Okay. So they manipulated that energy and changed it from people to mousel. And guess what? That's what we do. And the more we acknowledge it, the more we really truly acknowledge that we can have this interaction, that we shift and change this stuff, matter doesn't become as solid. And I'm going to leave you with that because I'm a tease. And because when we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about this concept of solid and how the quantum field interacts with this quote unquote solidity and how we can have a different possibility with it. All right. So you are watching the Exploration of Wonder with your guide, Donnielle, and we are on the Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back.
Ever feel like there's more to life than meets the eye? A sense of wonder just beyond your grasp? Are you ready to create a life that inspires you so much that each day you are excited to wake up and live it? Join Donnielle Carter, a nationally board-certified health and wellness coach, weekly as she explores the universe on the Exploration of Wonder. Explore everything from harnessing the power of your mindset to connecting with your intuition and harnessing the energetic forces around us. With a blend of humor, warmth, directness, and a dash of cheekiness, Donnielle shares easy-to-use, pragmatic, yet magical techniques you can implement immediately to infuse your life with wonder. Join us as we navigate the fascinating landscapes of the seen and unseen, and together create lives filled with joy, purpose, and boundless possibility. This is the Exploration of Wonder with your guide, Donnielle. To participate in this program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to hello@donnielle.com. Now back to the exploration.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Exploration of Wonder with your guide, Donnielle. I am so glad and excited that you are here. And what's fun about this is the more we talk about this, I know the less separate we are. I know a lot of people think like technology creates a separation, but what if it doesn't have to? What if it's an energetic field? You're right here with me as well, and I'm there with you, right? During one of the early commercial breaks, I had to kind of chuckle because it talked about the Inspired Choices Network app, and it's like, what would it take to have, one of the Inspired Choices Network hosts in your pocket? I'm like, I'm kind of there. So, and also my naughty mind thinking, but there you go. All right, so I know this is a lot of information, and you don't have to cognitize it. I mean, you don't have to think about it. You don't have to regurgitate it. It's just helping you get to the place where you're like, I am magic. And when I send out an intention or prayer, because you guys, what else is a prayer? But the setting and putting out of thoughts of positive energy out there into this quantum field where other people receive it, where we put out our asks, right? So prayer for me has that very similar energy. Okay, so religion is in this as well. All right, so I might have to do a part 2 because there's so much, okay? Because what we're getting to right now is we're talking about this mass. We're talking about these things as physical matter. But how solid is that? Okay? If we can manipulate, if we can reach out with a thought and change physical matter, how solid is that physical matter? How solid are things in the universe? Not as solid as we thought they were. And don't worry, I'm not saying that you're going to fall through your chair. Wouldn't that be a fun sight, though? Could you imagine? Because if you're watching this on the TV show portion, you'd be like, I'd be Donnielle talking da-da-da, and then fall through my chair because our chair's not solid, right? Because back to the science of it, the science shows that there is so much space between the cells. There is actually more space between the cells in the cell of a cell than there is solid matter. It's just that we put these cells and these molecules together to form a physical appearance, to form a physical world around us. But things aren't as solid as we've made them, okay? We've just made them so we could have a fun planet to walk on, so we could have fun houses to live in and that kind of stuff, okay? So in this concept of how if solid matter isn't that solid, well then what if those solid problems you've made solid aren't that solid either? Okay. What if in this realm of magic, every problem isn't a problem? And I'm not going to do that. Oh, whatever problems, every problem's a possibility, because that kind of irks me. And I know it irks a lot of you too, because that energy came up. But it's like, what if every problem isn't as solid as we've made it? What if it isn't something we have to overcome? What if it's just something that we have to change the way we think about it, the way we look at it? And so with every problem we go, if I see this from a different place, I'm sending out a different energy, a different request into that quantum field, and I am changing it with that energy, with that magic that I be. Because you be magic. And what if there's no more separation? Okay. For me, this is also one of the other bigger parts is there is no separation. Yes, I would love to be there to pick up a loved one if they fell, if they hurt their leg or something. But you know what? I also acknowledging my magic, and I hope you guys are too, and know that it is scientifically proven and fact that you send out that intention, you send out that desire for health, for healing, that they're going to receive it. Okay? So let's extrapolate a little bit. So can you send out a request for cash and have it come back? Yeah. As long as you get out of your way in receiving. We'll talk about that in another show. And then also, you become more, the more you send this stuff out, the more it becomes familiar, and then the more you're willing to have it come back in. And then you're not rejecting it as a foreign energy, okay? Because a lot of the stuff is just about getting you used to these energies as well, okay? So it's like you are magic. When you touch things, you manipulate it. You share energy. And if it's not as solid, what could that be like? So one of the things I'm going to invite you guys to do, because I always like to do actions to take on things as a little takeaway, is like, I remember when I was first researching this, and my cat came in to sit on my desk as she demands. And what was interesting, I was like, wait a minute, I'm so used to creating barriers. I'm so used to creating regions and definitions, right? Like solid cat, solid Donnielle. I pet the cat with a solid hand. She receives it in a solid body. What if not? So I started changing that, looking at the barriers, getting rid of those boundaries between people, places, and things. And as I pet the cat, the molecules were interacting in such a different way with her. And I'm like, holy crap, everything is more fluid than we thought when we're diving into this quantum field theory. Okay. So interesting. So a couple of things is, for me, we are not solid. But how many of us feel solid? We don't. Another thing I'm going to invite you to do is look at your body. We think of it as this solid thing, but it isn't. There's so much space in it. There's so much motion. There's so much flow. Okay. So getting into this quantum field reality, we are magic. We are a natural force that manipulates things with our intentions, our thoughts, our desires, our questions, our asks, our choices. We are not solid. We're not. The universe is not solid, including those problems. 3, there is no separation. And 4, you can have, be, do, and create anything. Whether you're using magic, science is magic, magic is science. You have access to this quantum field and realm that's just fantastical. And if you want to explore it more, I'm going to put in a little plug. I do this monthly thing called Turning the Molecules, where a bunch of us get together and we dive into this quantum realm and this quantum field, and we turn molecules on things that have been solid in our universe so that we invite the motion and flow back, so the possibilities come back. So if you want to learn more about that, you can go to donnielle.com, DONNIELLE.com. This 6 months, because we do 2 a month, this 6 month is called the Forward Momentum, and it's fantastic. So I hope to see you there. And trust me, my friends, this is just the beginning. You are magic. Even if you think about it with science, you are magic. This is our natural state of who we are, who we be, and what we can create in the world. All right, my friends, please, please, please have a fantastic week. Be curious, be wonder, and explore the magical universe around you. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for exploring with us today. Donnielle returns Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Mountain, 1 p.m. Pacific. Until then, be curious, be wonder, and explore the magical universe around you.